Every map in Gorilla Tag explained in under 20 minutes, starting with Forest. Forest is a map with all kinds of different structures, like trees, houses, walls, and more. Forest is the first map you see in the game after you come out of tutorial. Then in the spring there's water in this little pond thingy, and then all over Forest in winter there is snow, which you can pick up and throw at people. And in the new updates you can pick up the snow and combine them together to get bigger snowballs, and then you can throw it at people to deal knockback damage. Next up on the list is Caves. Caves is this map with all sorts of different crystals. It has Doug the Bug and purple crystals and blue crystals, and in the middle of the map there's this big giant crystal. It'll sometimes be blue, but usually it's purple. And there's also this little guy named Matt the Bat. And also back in Forest, there's this guy named Doug the Bug. These are little creatures that will go around the map just doing whatever. You can pick them up and throw them, and you can even put them out on the map, which is pretty rude to do. So that is very not nice. Why would you do that? That's so rude. Next up on the list is Canyons. Canyons is a map with lots of ropes and zip lines. And in this map there's lots of nooks and crannies and that you can hide in during infection, and there's even a glitch to get out of the map, which is reportable if you're not tagged and you're outside the map and you're somehow like staying on somewhere that the lava monkeys can't get to. So yeah, I don't really have any more to say about Canyons. Next up on the list is City. City has lots of clothes, or cosmetics as the monkeys like to call it, and in City, there's shelves and little beams you can go to, and you can also go to a ton of different maps like Basement and Mountains, and you can also get back to Forest with it, and there's also a couple other maps you can get to, and also monkey blocks. Next up on the list is Mountains. Mountains is this map where the main mechanic is sliding, where you can slide around, and also there's this fan, and if you go in it, you will get blown to the other side of the map, and there's this big slide. And also, one of the trends with this map is the secret tunnel, where you slide down this little part of the map and you get on a ramp and you go into a little purple slide, and then there's also some trees, and there's snow throughout the map always, no matter what season it is. So even if it's summer, there's always going to be snow you can pick up. So it's the perfect place for a snowball fight. Okay, Clouds is the only map in Gorilla Tag where it can be seen from all of the other maps. And even like Beach Map or Forest or even Mountains. And in Clouds you can like jump around. There's these glider thingies where you grab onto them and you jump in this giant gust of wind and it takes you up, and you can go tour around the map. And in the middle of the map there's these like it's this little ring thingy, and there's like lots of things to do stuff, and then there's this giant wind tunnel to get into the map that pulls you up, and then this giant wind tunnel to get you out of the map that pulls you down, and that's it. Next map on the list is Basement. Basement, you can enter through this little door. You press your hand on it and it opens the door. And then in Basement, you get down using stairs. And then there's this little glass maze thingy where there's little creatures. They're called monsters or something. Or I think they're called monk eye. And there's this monk eye badge at the end of the maze. Once you get to the end of the maze, you click this little chest and it opens the badge, and you can get the monk eye badge. And also in the other updates in like 2024, there was this little science experiment thingy where it was like this little chamber, and there's acid that would rise if you put in enough Mentos in the bottle on the inside. And you could get into these little things by jumping in the little tunnel, and you'd slowly shrink down. And same thing for the maze, but you would be sucked in. And that's what basement looks like right now, just a little maze thingy. Alright, next map on the list is beach. Beach map has tons of ropes and zip lines. It has this little pirate ship, and where it's like cracked and broken, and it's like halfway sunken down into the ocean, and it's littered with all kinds of like ropes and zip lines. And also, there's this little dude named Mark the Shark. You can grab onto him and he'll take you around the map. And also in beach map you can do little tricks and also fling out of the map. And it's the only map where there's always water no matter what season it is. And there's this giant vast ocean where you can you can swim, but there's a wind barrier, so you can't go too far out into the ocean. And before you get to the wind barrier, there will be these buoys, and right behind the buoys, there's like a wind barrier. It just knocks you back into the water. And next up on the list is Metropolis. Metropolis is this giant map where there's tons of buildings, and it's basically New York City in Gorilla Tag. And just like New York City, there's this giant statue of surrounded by buildings, but unlike in real life, it's not surrounded by water. And then the city itself is surrounded by ocean, and it has this and it's like you're a giant monkey. You feel like King Kong, and you're climbing around because the city is kind of small. It's smaller than usual. So, and then also there's these train tracks where it's like a subway or something, and it goes through the city. And if you use mods to shrink down or something, it'll feel like a real city. Alright, next up on the list is arcade. In this map, there's tons of games like the Monkey Bonk or something, and you can bonk monkeys, and the monkeys will pop out and you bonk them with your hand. And then the main part of the arcade are the VR headsets. You put them on, you grab the little yellow hammer, the little grabber thingies, and you put them up to your face, and then after a couple seconds, you will be taken to the virtual stump where there's tons of maps you can explore. And then also in arcade, there's basically Pong, where you can bounce around this little ball with 2 players, and yeah, that's arcade. Next up on the list is the Bayou map, and it's this haunted house surrounded by a swamp, and there's tons of lore and stuff to it. I'll give you the wiki page or whatever to it. And there's also this it's like the water is green, and sorry for the stutter or whatever, and there's tons of like graves and stuff, and it came out in the Halloween update 2024. Next up on the list is Monkey Blocks. In Monkey Blocks, it's a lot different from the other maps because its main mechanic is building. And you can build whatever you want. It's like Minecraft, but it's always in creative mode, but you can't fly. And it's a lot similar to this other game called Yeep's Hide and Seek, and I'll talk about that later. And in a Monkey Blocks map, you can also kind of like glitch yourself to the top of the map, and you can shrink down and explore your builds. Next map on the list is Mines. In Mines, you can explore these tons of different crystals, and it's like OG caves basically. There's tons of these little mine shafts, and in the mine shafts there's something scary. It's Lucy. You tap on this little jar to summon Lucy, and she's like a skeleton with like glowing red eyes, and she makes like a weird noise, whatever. And that's basically all there is to Mines. Next map on the list is Arena. In Arena, you can play a soccer, and that's basically it. It's you just play soccer. Next map on the list is Hover Park. In Hover Park, you get these little skateboards, and you can fly around with the skateboards, but you'll just hoverboard. It's just a hoverboard, and it's just a skate park, and you can play around, you can race, you can do whatever. You can. It's just Hover Park. You just hover, and it's just. And thank you for watching. Sorry I screamed right there, but whatever. And make sure to like and subscribe if you liked the video. And if you want to see more, turn on notifications. And if you want to see where I got all my information from, just go to Gorilla Tag Wiki or something like that. I don't know.